Hi there. Not really the best day for it, but it's my attempt at showing you around our caravan. Just from the outside first, really long hookup cable. That's got to be 20 meters with the two cables together. And there's a mains power switch converter on the end, so you can just plug it into a normal wall socket. Over here we've got, and you can have all of these hose pipes, but we've got the full hookup. This is the high pressure pipe, so you don't need to use the pump in the whale pump in the water cylinder when you're on site. All of that's included. I've already showed you over here, I think, in one of the pictures, but I'll just quickly go over this again. That's the barbecue that hooks up on a external gas point, which I'll show you in a sec. There's a choice of two grey water tanks, a little one in the front and then that bigger one when you're properly off grid. I've got two water hogs, so one in the front and then that one also. And then a little generator which works perfectly. It's just been serviced, new spark plug, new oil, new air filter. Really good little thing, really quiet. So yeah, you can't run huge appliances off it, but it's great for keeping the batteries charged when you're off grid for a couple of hours. So yeah, that's also included, worth 600-700 quid when they were new, so it's quite a valuable little thing. As you can see, yeah, there's the little gas connection point on the bottom of the on the end of the barbecue pipe, and that just plugs into this connection just here when the awning's on the side, which the awning's inside. But yeah, it just goes in there, and there's a little tap on the inside to switch it on and off. Exterior light should work. Just check that's. Yep, there we go. Takes a while to come on, but that's useful when you've got the awning up. Just a little bit of external light. The door holders, these often break here. This one's actually just been replaced, so. And it's got double locks on the doors, which is really helpful actually. Just give you that little bit more peace of mind, depending on where you're parking up. So you might not want to do that every time, but the option's there. So that literally hooks on there securely. Every single window has got the full blind and actually, does this one? Don't know that this one does, but all the other windows do. Yeah, I don't think this one does. But all the other windows have a blind and oh yeah, that one doesn't open, that's why. Makes sense. So yeah, this has got both the blind and the whatever you call it, insect net. That applies to every single window in here, so it's quite good if you're going to Scotland or somewhere similar. The same applies to the skylight, so you can have this open when you're in bed. Yeah, have this fully open, but you're not getting gnats and all sorts attacking you. So yeah, I'm getting the carpet dirty unfortunately because it's wet outside. But this actually that unit there will actually come out. So you can turn that into a really big bed, bigger than the bed in my house. Or you can lie sideways and keep it in there. You've got options, but it just literally lifts out. Yeah, and then obviously the bed's here. And this just pulls out. Really simple, all the way out. I'm not going to bother showing you. You get the idea. And then obviously all these arrange on the flat and make yourself a nice bed. We've basically extensively reworked this and upgraded it. We did have a TV in here, but I'm not including that in the sale. But yeah, it's got we've sort of upgraded things like this, so it's got full USB connectivity on the side here. This is a little inverter, which you can also connect direct to a battery if you want to. I've left you those connections, but it's just handy if you want to connect up 240 volt items. I've showed you the extra batteries. So there's the external one in the external box, but there's also another one inside. They've been connected correctly in the correct manner that they should be connected to make sure that they're not fighting each other. Yeah, so that's all been done, and the vehicle's been extensively reworked because we've got access once a year. We go to a place on Dartmoor that's completely off-grid in a 34-acre field. So we go there with a few friends and their kids and have a few beers and a barbecue. It's really lovely. So the only reason I'm selling it is because we've got a bigger and better caravan. So yeah, this one's got to go. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and it's got great you know, the updates that we've put in it. For example, we put a new stereo in, which is great. It's just playing 6 music. It did come with these Pioneer speakers, but just to improve things a little bit, it's got a little pair of 6x9s in the boxes and an Alpine amplifier behind. That's either side. So really nice little system, sounds great, and they're on cables, so you can obviously move this down to here when you're in bed watching TV. And the table I've showed you, which is in here, can be set up here, and you can put your TV on it. And absolute luxury. The cables are quite short, they'll only sort of allow you to put the speakers here and here, but if you look here, there's a handy set of binding posts, and I've got long cables which allow you to put the speakers outside in the awning, which is fantastic. It really does mean that you can have a little bit of a dance. If you're not annoying people, obviously on a campsite, you're not going to be able to do that, but if you are off grid somewhere and you can do it, but that's fantastic. There's actually provision for a powered subwoofer, which is under here. You can see the cables here. These are all extremely expensive cables, and then a built-in fuse. But there's the cable for that's the power cable for it, and there's the cable for the sub. This is currently switched off at the head unit up there, so there's no signal coming down this wire. But that can also be swapped to. There's a box that, you know, a storage box in the front there. I'll turn this off a sec, but there's a storage box in the front here, front corner, and that's got another power outlet for the subwoofer and some RCA or phono joiners. So you connect that cable to the other side of those joiners, and then you pick it up on the other side, and you can have the subwoofer in the awning. So you have the whole system in the awning. Sounds absolutely fantastic, but I'm not selling the subwoofer and amplifier because they're extremely valuable, and I don't think I'll get my money back with this sale. They're a JL Audio high-end amplifier and subwoofer, so yeah, I've decided to keep them. But it does sound fantastic. That's the whale pump, so that goes into either of the you know, what do you call them, hogs, water hogs. So you've got decent amount of range with this, you know, a week's worth of off-grid supply, especially with the batteries and the generator. You can really go for a long time. There's 2 new gas bottles in the front, I believe. One's half empty. We've totally had this completely serviced, the heater. Previously only the 240 volt part worked, and the 12 volt fans worked, but the gas didn't work because there was no spark or igniter, piezo lighter. So that's all been replaced. That cost over £100 just for the piezo, but it all works faultlessly. The gas, same thing, all works perfectly. The oven, the grill, all the hobs, and it's a 4-burner hob, which is really nice. You know, you don't normally get them, but it's in great condition. You can clearly read all of the, you know, what everything does. It's just, you know, it's all in great condition. This, again, a lot of money spent because the micro switch in this tap didn't work. So when it's hooked up to in a campsite to mains water, this just acts as a simple tap, like so, in fact. But when it's hooked up to the whale pump that I just showed you in one of the hogs, these have got a little 12 volt micro switch in them, so that activates the pump. So wires goes there. Well, that part didn't work, so we had to replace that. That was over £100. Same applies to that one. That one does work, but that's the same system. You know, it's just a tap when it's hooked up, and then it's 12 volts when it's off grid. Toilet works perfectly. You have to empty it from the outside. It's a Thetford toilet, common toilet, but all of that works fine. And just to say, anyone who wants to come and look at it, I'm trying not to make this video too long, but anyone who wants to come and look at it can test all of this stuff out. You know, you're more than welcome to try it all, including setting the awning up if it's a nice day. All the poles and everything are there. It works perfectly. It's got the skirt that goes along the side of the Caravan, so there's not a big draft coming underneath. The only thing I don't have is sort of a ground sheet or tarp for it. We just left it as grass in there. But if you've got kids or, you know, whatever, you can have luxury in here, and then you can have the kids in there. You've got your own toilet. It really is pretty surprisingly luxurious, you know, how you can make this, you know, even off grid. It's sort of like, you know, taking your own Holiday Inn room with you somewhere, really, in a way. So yeah, we were really impressed. Fridge works perfectly as well. Gas, 12 volts is just for when you're traveling, but that works perfectly with the lead on the front, connected to the car, so it keeps all your stuff cool while you're traveling. And then obviously the mains hookup, that works perfectly, which is obviously the preferable option if you've got access to 240 volts mains hookup. But like I said, the gas works perfectly. With the hot water, same thing really. You've got let me think. You've got gas when you're off grid, and then when you've got mains hookup, you've got 240 volts, and that all works perfectly. The both sides work brilliantly. So yeah, and so that's the heating, that's the hot water, which is down here. These are all the controls for it, and there's I think that's it. There's a space heater button down there as well, which just blows hot air around when you've got a hookup. So yeah, all of that works great. What else do I need to show you? I think that's it. This has been replaced, this voltage readout, because it used to have an old what do you call it, like, you know, needle gauge that was not very accurate and just sort of a bit temperamental, so got that replaced. That's just the fuse box in there, so nothing surprising going on. There's a built-in charger, so it just charges up the onboard batteries which have been fitted. I think that's just about it. All the lights work. I literally can't think of anything that doesn't work. There's no leaks. You've got the vents down there. Those are the 12 volt vents that come off the back of this, so it does actually distribute the heat around, including into the bathroom. There's a little one down there as well. There's a decent amount of storage in here, actually. If I can open it. There you go. So yeah, that's the awning. But even in there, you can just about see we've got pillows and blankets. So there's a few things that we have included with this. So you're not completely starting from scratch. You've basically got everything. You just need cups and sauce and stuff in here. We've even got, you know, basic bits and bobs for cooking. Kitchen towels and stuff are in here. So it's basically ready to go. You just need to add your own personal sort of cutlery and cooking equipment. Plenty of storage. Even though we've got the speakers here, there's still plenty of storage here. You know, there really is a lot. Little drinks cabinet. Sorry, not including any booze. But yeah, everything here is, you know, decent amount of room. And then you've still got the under bed storage as well. So yeah, tons and tons and tons of room. All the cabinets in there and the wardrobe. So yeah, you could. It's absolute luxury for two people, but you know, it's probably a little bit tight. You kind of need to have the awning if you're going to have the kids as well. And I think that's just about it. I don't think there's much else I can show you. I think I've covered everything. So yeah, any questions? Hopefully that's not too much waffling. Any questions? Yeah, let me know.